When does a pet become a pain in the neck? Can you build a cyclotron using spare parts? Is this man stiff as a board or a board stiff?
Learn the answers from the man who knows it all.
Oh, I was born in a petri dish in Laboratory, Pennsylvania. My parents thought I was a dog and sent me to the pound. I was sent to a dog obedience school where the vets know how to train ya. Then to university, the finest school around. Yes, university was a well-respected college. I learned of space and vinegar, bugs and styling gel, of toothpaste time, the speed of light, flowers, trees, and dirt. Things that stink and noisy things and things that creep and squirt. Today I'm not a doctor, but you can call me one. Some folks call it science, but I just call it fun. Upon my every statement you can have complete reliance. I know more than you do. Call me Dr. Science.
I have a master's degree.
In science.
Look into my eyes.
They're bloodshot.
Look into them anyway. Your eyes are getting heavy. Your ears are getting clogged.
Huh?
I'm hypnotizing you. You know, like when you're sort of asleep, but awake at the same time and incredibly open to any sort of suggestion. It's all right here in black and white in this Hypnotism instruction book I ordered. Only $1.98, plus tax and shipping. But like Dr. Science says, if you want knowledge, you gotta pay for it.
Oh, hi, Rodney. What's that you got there?
Oh, it's a snake. I'm using it for an experiment.
Oh, I hate snakes.
I'm learning how to hypnotize a cobra in a basket. Maybe I could borrow your snake?
Elmer's not a cobra, but maybe you'll do.
How come the snake's not dancing?
Maybe he's deaf.
Oh, look. Zeke's hypnotized.
Elmer, quit goofing around. It's time to go to work.
What's all this commotion about?
Zeke tried to hypnotize Rodney's snake.
Hypnotism? Old science.
But Dr. Science, isn't hypnosis useful to psychologists, anesthesiologists, and research scientists?
No. Allow me to illustrate. Hypnotism was invented in 1938 by Rip Van Hypno, a pharmacist from Ohio. He was trying to help his wife sleep. Unfortunately, she wanted to stay awake. So she wore mirror sunglasses, and Rip Van Hypno ended up hypnotizing himself. For all we know, he's still sleeping.
I better be careful, too.
Right. We want to make sure we make a good impression when the inspector from the World Science Federation comes to make a last investigation of our lab. You see, if we pass, we'll qualify for a big government grant to study the effects of ice cream on boll weevils.
Is that important?
It's important enough to pay our bills around here for the next couple of years.
That includes my salary. That is important.
Yeah. And we can't let parlor tricks, random mumbo-jumbo, and general non-science give a bad impression of our lab.
But Dr. Science, what does all this have to do with hypnosis?
What you call hypnosis, Zelda, is simply the fantastic gullibility of those who lived before us. So let's let Philco show us just how stupid people were back then. Does anybody have a quarter?
Well, what happened to that quarter I loaned you yesterday?
Oh. Right, I still have it. Mesmerize us, Philco, with the truth about hypnotism. Our ignorant past. Throughout the ages, man has tried to hypnotize his fellow man.
You will do what I tell you to do.
Yes, master. But if you want to learn hypnotism, try starting simply by hypnotizing, oh, say, an alligator.
I have you under my power. Look, two at once.
Yippee! This is fun! Get off my back.
I will now put my head in your mouth, and you will not bite me.
How could he? That alligator lost his appetite when he ate the last hypnotist.
Daddy, can we get a dog next time?
Hypnotists are able to make their subjects perform amazing feats of strength.
Hit harder, hit harder.
Amazing, she's not waking up.
I didn't hypnotize her, I hypnotized the rock.
Hypnotized people can do remarkable things like spit real good. Or swallow swords thinking they're candy.
Good.
Or lose weight.
She said she wanted to lose 50 ugly pounds, so I cut her off at the waist.
Hypnotism. It's hard to believe, but it's pretty hot stuff.
Ow, hot. Ooh, ooh, ow. Hot. Hot.
I hope that convinced you. Hypnotism's a fraud.
Dr. Science, will you let me try to hypnotize you?
I'm much too thick-skinned for that, Zeke.
But Dr. Science, Zeke spent so much on his hypnotism correspondence course.
$1.98, plus tax and shipping.
Well, all right, I suppose I could spend a few minutes of my valuable time to prove my point that hypnotism's nonsense.
Has anybody seen my poodle? I was giving him a bath, and the phone rang. I answered the phone, and when I was done, Richelieu was gone.
No, we haven't, but if we do, we'll let you know. What color was it?
Well, he's usually pink, but he'd scampered through the fireplace, so now he's all gray. But I just finished washing his feet, so he's probably gray with pink feet.
Mr. Pickett, you're just in time to witness a demonstration of Zeke's so-called hypnotic powers.
All right, Dr. Science. Look into my eye. No, come to think of it, look at this watch.
It's broken.
Yeah, I know. I tried to wind it. I forgot it takes a battery. Are you getting sleepy?
Not at all.
Oh, all right then. Look at this hypno disc. Look right at it, Dr. Science. Now tell me, are you getting sleepy?
No, Zeke, as I told you before, hypnotism's only for the weak-minded and suggestible. I have a will of steel.
Will Steele. Will Steele.
I give up. You're right, Dr. Science. No one can hypnotize you. If the hypno disc can't do it, nothing can. Well, I guess it's back to the front desk for me.
Will Steele. Will Steele.
The experiment worked. I proved conclusively a snake can't be taught to play the piano.
Ah, I hate snakes.
On the contrary, Rodney, you simply haven't looked closely enough. You see, snakes can play little tiny pianos with their vestigial feet, visible only under a microscope. Allow me to illustrate. We'll take a look at those tiny tootsies through my microscope.
But Dr. Science, the microscope is gone.
Security's breaking down here at the Fortress of Arrogance. I'll take care of it. Quick, you two. I want you to bring me 6 feet of string, 4 medium-thick rubber bands, an autofocus, auto-rewind, auto-exposure camera, and a jelly donut.
I'll get the string and the rubber bands.
Okay, I'll get the camera and the donut. What's the donut for?
I'm hungry. Now, if this doesn't impress that Grand Inspector, nothing will. What took you? Let's see, a bagel, an instant camera, a hose, and a tire. Oh, great, you two. Wonderful job. 0 and 4.
Well, I couldn't remember what kind of camera you wanted, and the grips ate all the jelly donuts, but there was one bagel left.
I got lost, ended up at the hardware store. Do you want me to bring this stuff back?
No, this'll have to do. Now, pay attention very closely, you two, as I construct a machine that will detect any intruder in our lab. First, I put the bagel through the camera, insert the hose into the tire, and voila!
Great. What's it supposed to do?
Well, it's easier to show you than to try to explain it to you. Zella, Rodney and I are going to go into the science room and pretend to have a conversation. I want you to pretend to be an intruder and try to sneak up on us. Come on, Rodney. Well, Rodney, you think it might rain?
I think I left the snake at the hardware store.
Pretty cloudy.
That's a real poison snake.
I don't think so.
Have to find a new hardware store.
Eureka! It worked!
Zelda, I didn't know that was you. You slink pretty well for a scientist.
Well, thank you. I studied ballet as a child.
Well, what have we here, huh?
Oh, that doesn't really look like me, does it?
Can I keep that for my scrapbook? It's the only thing I have that shows me in action.
Sure, Zeke, a rare moment captured forever. Well, we find once again that safe in the hands of technology, our lives are not only more meaningful, but more productive.
Hey, what happened to the intruder detector?
Somebody stole it.
I'll head the robber off at the front desk.
Looks like I invented the intruder detector in the nick of time.
How come it didn't detect whoever stole it?
Well, our criminal is probably a master scientist who can interface with the workings of even the most complicated machinery. Either that or a foreign agent of some kind.
Excuse me, Mr. Pickett. Well, it's too late to nab the alleged perpetrator at the front desk. But don't worry, this fingerprint set will finger the crook. See, I just find the fingerprints on this surface and compare them to the fingerprints of everyone who works in the lab. And then, hey, where'd the fingerprint set go?
Oh, wow, this is spooky.
Now calm down here, people. We can't lose our reason over this.
He's right. Calm down, everybody. Just calm down.
Hey, what, Tom? And then all this screaming made me nervous.
Enough histrionics. All we have to do is list the facts calmly. Fact number 1. Zeke tried to hypnotize Zelda. Fact number 2. I ordered a jelly donut, forgot to eat it. Fact number 3. We have to get this lab in order before the grant inspector gets here.
I'm with you 100%. So, what's the conclusion?
Well, if we call fact number 1A and fact number 2B and fact number C3 and add them all together, what do we get?
Can I see it written out?
Of course. Allow me to illustrate. They got the interactive blackboard, too.
Oh, no. We gotta find the culprit, or this place will be called the Fortress of Emptiness.
Mr. Pickett! Mr. Pickett, have you seen anyone suspicious around here?
No, Zelda. I haven't.
Dr. Science, I went to use the destupidifier, and it's gone.
Same with the Anacapanistan.
It's the mysterious intruder, and it's all my fault. I'm supposed to be keeping this place safe and secure, and instead, I'm a disgrace to my profession. My father, all my uncles, everyone in my family, whoever had a job, has been in police work. Fighting evildoers, arresting criminals, busting up the syndicate, making the world a safe and secure place to walk your dog. If my family knew about this, they'd disown me.
Snap out of it, Zeke.
Thanks, I needed that.
Needed that. Needed that. We'll steal. We'll steal.
What's that, Mr. Pickett?
Oh, nothing, Zelda. Must go home now. Home now. We'll steal.
Mr. Pickett seems strangely subdued.
Be thankful for small favors.
Maybe he's sad because his poodle's still lost.
But what are we gonna do?
Well, if you lost your umbrella, where would you go look for it?
The lost and found.
Precisely, and that's what we're going to do via the miracle of the interdimensional transponder.
The closet.
I know that. I've been around a while.
We're going to visit that hidden dimension where we'll find lost socks, ballpoint pens, and that baseball card. You know you have someplace, but you don't know where it is.
Reggie Jackson.
Dave Davenport.
I have that one.
Probably mine.
Enough hobby talk. Let's see if we can find our missing equipment in the dimension of lost and found.
Wow, look at all this stuff. It looks like a garage sale in the Twilight Zone.
Wow, there's my bicycle. I haven't seen that since it was stolen 10 years ago.
It wasn't stolen. You lost it.
No, it was stolen. That day I went to play baseball.
You left it next to the water fountain and walked home with your friends.
He's right, I did. But how did you know that?
It's my job.
Oh, look, there's my roller skate. I had one of the roller skates, but I lost the other one. You know, not much you can do with one roller skate. Where'd I leave it?
At your grandmother's.
Oh, that's right, in the tree house.
You were skating in the trees?
No, I don't know. I can't remember why I brought it up there.
It's still there, but it's all rusty now.
Zeke, you don't see anything of yours in here, do you?
Nope, I never lose anything. Keep everything neatly stacked in piles under my bed.
Everything?
Nothing gets away. Nothing.
Well, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing any of our lab in here. Say, booming voice, you don't happen to have an Anacapanistan or a destupidifier in here, do you?
Sorry.
Let's get out of here. Well, that does it. Our items are definitely stolen, not lost.
I knew I should have put that fingerprint set right under my bed when I got it.
Well, maybe whoever's stealing all this stuff has had enough now. Leave us alone.
Hey, what happened to the lab?
It's been stolen!
And the grants inspector is coming over this afternoon.
Well, maybe we can tell them everything's in the shop being repaired.
I guess this means I won't get paid anymore.
Quiet, everyone. One thing no thief can steal from us is our reason. We have to keep our wits about us.
No one's getting mine. They're under the bed.
And send oculum vehiculum
He means Aki.
to go visit the master of deductive reasoning himself, Sherlock Holmes, and his assistant, Watson. Vámonos, muchachos!
So you see, Watson, by identifying the toe jam at the scene of the crime, I was able to deduce the identity of the culprit and return to the Prince of Wales his missing family jewels. Case closed.
Good show, Holmes.
Excuse me, are you the legendary Sherlock Holmes?
Well, let's see if we can deduce the answer to that question. A, I am the inventor of the science of criminology. B, I am the master of the art of deduction. C, I am more arrogant even than Dr. Science. Therefore, I must be Sherlock Holmes.
Ingenious, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
By the way, what is this small creature with the large eyeball?
Obviously, some sort of remote control device. Whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
I'm Dr. Science, speaking to you from the rapidly diminishing fortress of arrogance. Someone is stealing our laboratory a piece at a time.
Do you have any clues?
At present, we have insufficient data. We do know that these thefts began shortly after an attempted hypnotism.
Well, it certainly sounds like an inside job.
My thoughts exactly. I suggest you search among your friends and neighbors to find the culprit.
That's stupid. I suggest we look to our friends and neighbors to find the culprit.
You mean it's someone we know? Duh. I mean, elementary.
Let's blast the sucker.
No, Zeke, we'll use a weapon more powerful than a gun, the mind. So all we have to do is use the process of elimination to selectively weed out our suspects?
Precisely. The culprit you are looking for is a man who has easy access to your laboratory. A man loud in vocal pitch. A man obnoxious in behavior and attire. A man, in short, like that man there. Ah, now we'll never know who the culprit was.
Hey, Dr. Science, how come you lent Mr. Pickett your TV?
Aha! I did not lend Mr. Pickett my TV, and yet he's taking it away. Conclusion, Mr. Pickett is stealing our television.
Bravely deduced, Dr. Science, just like Sherlock Holmes.
Well, not quite as arrogant.
So Mr. Pickett is our hypno-klepto. I knew it the minute I laid eyes on him.
We still have an even more serious question to answer. Where's all my stuff? Everything's gone and Mr. Pickett took it.
But where did he take it?
If my hunch is correct, we should find our lab right next door.
In Mr. Pickett's house?
Duh!
Let's get it. Let's break the door down.
No, Zeke, let me handle this. We don't want to disturb him in his hypnotic state. Who is it? Would you like to buy some Cat Girl cookies?
Yes, come in.
Nice place, Mr. Pickett.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice furniture. I can't believe it. He's got the whole lab here.
But he put it together backwards.
Well, how are we going to get it back to the lab in time for the grant inspector?
Don't worry, Dr. Science will think of something.
Mr. Pickett, how are you feeling?
Just fine, Camp Girl. Just fine.
You see, he's still hypnotized.
That hypno disc worked. It's worth every penny.
So now can you unhypnotize him?
No, that lesson hasn't come yet. It should be here any day, though.
I think he's faking.
Well, there's one way to find out. Hypnotized people can remain stiff as a board between any two objects.
Wow, he sure is light.
He must be a light sleeper. Also, hypnotized people can retain uncomfortable positions for a long time with no apparent strain.
Wow, he could be a kung fu master and not even have to practice.
But what are we going to do for the poor man?
We could put him to sleep for good, I guess.
Time to call the men in the white coats to come take Mr. Pickett away.
No, there's one last thing we could try. We could solve an old science problem with an old science solution. Truly hypnotized people will feel no pain, even when pricked with a pin.
What do you think you're doing?
He's awake, so he wasn't hypnotized after all.
A false assumption, Rodney. It's merely that Mr. Pickett's fear of pain was more powerful than any hypnotic trance.
Where am I?
This is your house, Mr. Pickett.
How dare you bring all of your laboratory equipment into my home? And where's my furniture?
Good question.
Hey, we still have to get the lab back to the lab before the grant inspector comes. What time is it?
It's, 2 minutes to 3. Wasn't he due at 3?
Right, Dr. Science. We'll never carry the equipment back in time. What are we gonna do?
While I don't believe in hypnotizing humans, I do subscribe to the belief of hypnotizing inanimate objects. You know, that would be able to get all this stuff back to the lab. Now, theoretically, we should travel along with it.
Wow, that's not even a lesson in my book.
Here goes nothing.
Hey, we're back in the lab.
And everything's back the way it should be.
Yeah, just another trick I learned from my uncle, Yogi Science.
Oh, there's a note on the lab table. It's from the grant inspector. Dear Dr. Science, sorry to have missed you. How do you expect to conduct boll weevil research with no lab equipment? Better luck next time. Sign the inspector.
After all that work.
Well, the lab's back where it belongs. Mr. Pickett's unhypnotized. What did we learn from all this, huh?
Use a hypnodisc, go to jail?
Don't buy cookies from a camp girl with a beard.
Don't count your grants before they're matched.
Crime doesn't pay, but it pays more than Dr. Science. Mail call! It's good to have the old mailbag back again.
It's good to be unhypnotized, too.
You two are delighted by the blandest things.
Enough lifestyle banter. Rodney, the question.
Right, Dr. Science.
Yo, Zelda.
Well, Dr. Science, this letter comes from Rutherford Lumpy from Beaverdale, Pennsylvania, who writes to ask, Dear Dr. Science, what really happens to the light inside the refrigerator when I shut the door?
It all depends on the contents of the refrigerator. If it's vegetables, the light stays on, because vegetables are voracious readers who like to stay up into the wee hours reading trashy novels. If, on the other hand, the contents are dairy products, the light goes right out. This is because dairy products are great snoozers and enjoy their sleep. Of course, dairy products can sleep anywhere because they have a will of steel.
Will Steele! Will Steele!
Oh, no, not again.
Just kidding!
Goodbye, everyone.